Hi, I'm Allison Priestman and I want to do a video about wild therapy and specifically a workshop that I've got coming up soon in 3 weeks and a year-long training course that Tame and myself are doing, based mostly in the north, that's coming up in March. And I guess I should say where we are on this glorious day, beautiful sunny day, blue sky. We're at the end of my garden, just the edge where it meets the wilder land beyond, so there's horse fields below, and then behind me is something called Jacob's Knoll, and I'm just outside of Stroud in the Cotswolds. So beautiful landscape around me. Earlier there was a buzzard calling, and maybe it will call soon. And I was curious to record this at the edge because it feels like we're in this garden. It's quite domesticated. You know, it's mostly very well kept by myself and my partner. And then beyond it are the slightly wilder fields, and the countryside around us is National Trust land. And that being at the edge and the wild and the domesticated are all themes that wild therapy seeks to explore. The fact that we're actually animals, hopefully embodied, and we're in relationship with everything all the time, but we've become a bit human-centered, a bit lost in our trance, in our human-created things. And wild therapy is trying to rebalance that a little bit by studying and nurturing our relationship with the other than human and more than human. And where does this work come from? It's grown with and through eco-psychology, and specifically Nick Totten wrote an amazing book called Wild Therapy in 2011 and trained and supported other people being trained in wild therapy since then, and it's being taken forward by its graduates, and quite a few people are offering a diversity of workshops and training experiences, and some of those people are Emma Palmer and Matthew Henson in Ireland, Nick Totten still, Leonie Guest, myself, Allison Priestman, Tame, Jane Johnson. But what I want to do is to tell you about the year-long training that's coming up in March that Tame and myself are doing. And this is specifically to support people to work outdoors with clients in a therapeutic way, one-to-one or in groups. Mostly we attract counsellors and psychotherapists, but a lot of allied practitioners, coaches, bodywork practitioners, who else have we had? All sorts. So we meet, it starts at Unston Grange, which is in Derbyshire, which is this large shabby old house with a big organic garden. We meet inside and out, in pairs, in threes, in the group, and solo. And the kind of basic model is going out, what's it like, what do you experience, and then coming back and talking about that. We have 3 residentials, so the first one is at Unston Grange in the Derbyshire. The second one is in Lancashire, run by the Middlewood Trust, a place called Robindale, and we stay camping. And Robindale is a phenomenally beautiful place. It's always really inspired me because it feels a more intact ecosystem than most I see. Even this place is beautiful around me and very alive, but I know that there's been a lot of loss of diversity and sheer numbers. And you go there and you get woken up if you're camping at 5 o'clock in the morning. Just the sheer volume of birdsong is astounding and stirring for me. When we go back into touching how alive this earth could be, that's very stirring. So we're there, and then we usually move down to the camping barn for the next residential, and that's so first one is in March, then May, then September, where I'm at the camping barn. Similar format, but there's usually a day-long experience, a solo experience when you can go off on your own, and that's usually very powerful. And this course usually completes in January or February, where we have a non-residential weekend that's a return to domesticated environment, if you like, which is usually a city, Bristol probably. And it's, so how is it to bring it back home, to do wild therapy on streets? And that's challenging and usually very rewarding. Well, I've been talking a lot, and that's probably nearly long enough. Just to flag up, workshop coming in Bristol, 10th to 11th of November. That acts as a really great taster for the wild therapy training. Probably best if you check out my website, www.allisonpriestman.co.uk, or the Embodied Relational Therapy Workshop. And maybe that's long enough, so thank you for listening.